Welcome back to the Opportunity Zone. Chris, you got a message for everybody?
Listen, I keep forgetting. So before we get started, please hit the subscribe button. It's the only way I get to eat. No, I'm just kidding. But subscribe, seriously. Your interaction with us helps us fund some of the charities and having a positive impact in the world. Take a moment, hit that subscribe button, find us on YouTube, spread the word, get some engagement.
Beautiful. Subscribe. Big lineup today. Number one, Fannie Mae is pulling all kinds of levers. They're dropping their credit score. They're coming up with portable mortgages. Holy cow, like this institution's changing dramatically, and we're going to talk about that today and how it will affect you as an investor. Additionally, the whole SNAP EBT food stamp card thing, flushing down the toilets. They're going to revoke the whole thing, basically. They're making everybody reapply, and we're going to talk about that and how it's going to affect renters specifically if you're a landlord out there. In addition to that, we're going to be going through the Trump $1,000 newborn account, how they're going to be investing money for kids, basically retroactive back to Trump's start of his term to the end of his term. So all that and more on today's Opportunity Zone. Chris, you ready to rock?
Yes.
All right, quick Bible verse. I'll ask Mr. Lavin here to give us a blessing and then we'll jump in. So today is from Proverbs 28:19. A hard worker has plenty of food, but a person who chases fantasies ends up in poverty. Chris, you know anybody chasing fantasies?
Yes, I do. I know a whole generation of people that are chasing fantasies.
Hard worker has plenty of food.
Yep.
Would you mind giving us a blessing?
Absolutely. Heavenly Father, first and foremost, thank you for being the existence and the center of my life. Thank you for the many blessings that you've given to me. Thank you for the wisdom and knowledge that you've given me both spiritually and through my own mistakes and errors. Allow Nate and I to, please bless the conversation today for Nate and I so that we can express that experience and knowledge unto the people that are listening so that they can go out and be fruitful and multiply the talents that you bless them with. I ask this all in your name. Amen.
Amen. All right, let's just jump right into the deep end of the pool here, Chris.
Oh.
Okay, so it's just been exposed that 40% of all assisted housing in New York is being, or rent control housing would be a better word for it, is being rented out by immigrants. Some illegal, some, let's just let Stephen explain.
40% of the population of rent-controlled housing in New York City are foreign-born. Think about that. In one of the largest metropolitan areas in the world, 40% of rent-controlled properties are being lived in by people who weren't even born in the country. What kind of system is this? We bring in people from foreign countries, and then we pay to lower the cost of their housing, while people who were born here have to pay higher prices. So when President Trump is reducing net migration, that is what's going to ultimately, along with all these other steps, deregulate.
All right, Chris, before I let you comment, I'm going to layer this, okay? So that's the rental numbers. Now, guys, check this out. If you hear nothing else today, make sure you pay attention to this. This is FHA mortgages. Notice the last couple of years, this is under the last administration that was in office. We had a huge spike. We've been increasing. Huge spike. These are individuals taking government-backed loans that are not born in the United States of America as well. All right, now I'm going to let you comment, Chris.
All right, so let me go both ways on this. First of all, unless you're an American Indian, you are naturalized in this country. Let me start there. Secondly, if you're in this country illegally, you should not be benefiting from any of these taxpayer supported programs, period. While I don't necessarily, and this may not be, or may seem contradictory to some of the things I said in the past, I don't necessarily have a problem with immigrants living in housing if they're paying taxes and they're paying their fair share. Now, if they come over here and they're living, fancy free, not working, all that stuff, I have a problem with it. But if you're in New York City and you're a maid and you're legal, right? You've got all your papers, you've done everything you're supposed to be doing. There's no way you could make enough money to live in New York City as a maid. I'm okay with that. If you're in this country illegally and you're getting paid cash on Friday, I have a major problem with that. So we got to understand that this country was not built you're obviously not American Indian. I'm obviously not American Indian. It was built on immigration. But it has to be done right and legally. And I have no problem. Come in here and you pay taxes. You should be entitled to the programs that other taxpayers are entitled to. And I'm here to tell you, and I think we both personally know a couple of them, of immigrants that come into this country with nothing that work their tails off to get everything that they have. Sometimes the people that are blessed with the American dream don't take advantage of the American dream. And it's really back to our Bible verse today. If you work hard, you'll eat. If you live in fantasy, you won't.
Yeah, well said, Chris. I'm going to keep you moving. If you at home or at the office right now have comments on that, put them in the chat. I want to see if we can get his blood pressure.
Please don't. My blood pressure is very high right now. I'm not sleeping.
But put them in the comments. We want to know. We read through the comments. We'd like to know.
Intelligent engagement only, please. No hate mail.
Hate mail goes to chris.loud. Okay, next up, Fannie Mae. This is the biggest buyer of mortgages in the country, both for multifamily and for single family. They're set to drop the credit scores down to 620. Chris, what are your thoughts on this?
I think it's a huge mistake. Listen, I'm going to be nothing but real right now. The current minimum score, I believe, is 680. That's my recollection. And that's even kind of hairy, right? You start dropping the credit score requirements to 620. This talks about, so let me give you a bigger picture. I don't know if people know this or not, but if you have things that are affecting your credit score that are beyond your control, if you've got medical collections, medical bills, like you went to the hospital and you didn't have health insurance, you didn't have enough health insurance, you got $1 million hospital bill, let's say, and you can't pay it or you're on payment terms, you're behind, you can actually have that stuff excluded as part of your mortgage score. Most people don't know that, but that's a fact, right? So if we start taking the 680 credit score and lower it to 620, I believe, and I'm not, a soothsayer or a fortune teller, I believe we're going to start to see an increase in foreclosures as a result of the less credible people or less trustworthy people, less credit-worthy people that are going to get these loans, not be able to pay it, get upside down, and then I think we might be perpetuating a mortgage crisis. I think.
This is just a history lesson. We'll take you back in time for a second. 2006. We were in the prime of people signing loans that were called no-doc loans.
Oh my goodness, I remember that.
That meant that they didn't care what their credit score was. They didn't care what their real income was. They just showed up and signed the paperwork. And anything, I know this is not quite the same as no-doc, but anything that we do to move closer to that is going to result in more potential problems. So also not a fan here.
Yeah, we stopped that for a reason.
All right, they're making another move, Chris. Portable mortgages. So let me explain what this is. This means that, let's just say I took out a loan 4 years ago when rates were really low, 3%. I've got a $500,000 loan balance on my property. Instead of me having to sell that house and take out a new loan, I might be able to port my existing loan to go buy a new property. I'll take my $500,000 loan, I'll buy a new property, I'll remain at 3% interest. Portable mortgages. Chris, what are your thoughts?
What are my thoughts? How much longer is Jerome Powell around for? Because that's what this is, right? They're fixing a symptom. The symptom is high rates, right? We can't transact or we can't buy or spend or get the house that we want because mortgage rates are so high. It puts the payment out of reach for us. So they're coming up with creative ways to work around Jerome Powell. I got to ask the question, why, what effect is this guy having other than negative if we're doing all these workarounds to get around them to transact property? Because if this starts in the single family space first, it's going to move over to multifamily. And this is just creating chaos. You're creating more work than necessary. I say we just smack Jerome Powell in the head, make him do the right thing.
Mr. Powell is in office until the end of Q1, start of Q2. And he could stick around longer as an advisor.
Yeah, as an advisor. Yeah.
But his official role expires next
year. As lead, right? So, but he's still going to have a lot of influence because, well, I don't know, because there's been a lot of dissent lately in the Fed, right? The Fed governors have been some dissent where we've never seen that before. So I think people are starting to realize that this is just a personal tit for tat with Trump. I don't know.
Yeah, so the real fix is let's just get rates down. But they're trying all these creative things, so portable mortgages might be the next thing.
I'm loving it.
All right, let's move onward. We're going to talk about Mr. Scott Turner. This is the Secretary of HUD. He's standing up now. He's saying, hey, look, guys, I know we're getting accused of cutting all these programs, but we're not just blindly cutting them. We're re-engineering them. And so one thing that they're going to be slashing or re-engineering, instead of handing out dollars to solve homelessness like they have been the last 4 years, they didn't really solve anything. Instead, they're not letting these nonprofits get automatic renewals. Instead, they're making workforce requirements, and then they're showing, what's your word, Chris, for this?
A path to sustainability.
Yeah, path to
Self-sustainability. Yep.
So they're making that a requirement now to get dollars from the federal government to help prevent homelessness. So I'm expecting things like halfway houses to benefit from this. But it's not going to be permanent hand out money anymore. That's the big fundamental change he's trying to address.
Well, I'm with it. Anytime that you've got to be reassessed for your ability to qualify for these programs, I'm all for it, because let's be honest, sometimes people get this little cash job on the side and they're not reporting their income, and they're getting the SNAP benefits and the other benefits and this benefit and that benefit. We got to get rid of some of that.
You mean SNAP benefits like a $60,000 SNAP benefit? Check this out, okay? SNAP benefit, this is EBT, aka food stamps.
On a credit card, yep.
On a credit card, a little debit card they get to carry around to the grocery store. A lot of folks are, I don't want to miscategorize, but they're finding major fraud and abuse right now. Literally, they found one with $60,000 balance on it, and they're trading them, they're selling them for cash, just so that someone else can walk away with the $60,000 food stamp value. This is crazy. I want to show you really quick, and then I'm going to let Chris weigh in on this. The Secretary of Agriculture, Brooke Rowlands, she's weighing in on this. She's the one that oversees that program. I want you to hear what she says on this.
Responded with their data sets February, March, April. So the numbers that you're talking through, those are numbers that we have been collecting and analyzing since early summer, late spring. Okay. The fact that this spotlight shined on SNAP has allowed us to talk about it. But here's the most unbelievable news I have really just over the last few days, that 5,000 dead people, that was just 1 month. The number is closer to 186,000 deceased men and women and children in this country are receiving a check. Now, that is what we're really going to start clamping down on. 500,000 are getting 2. But here's the really stunning thing. This is just data from those 29 mostly red states. Can you imagine when we get our hands on the blue state data, what we're going to find? It's going to give us a platform and a trajectory to fundamentally rebuild this program, have everyone reapply for their benefit, make sure that everyone that's taking a taxpayer-funded benefit through SNAP or food stamps, that they literally are vulnerable and they can't survive without it. And that's the next step here.
So major reforms coming, Chris. What are your thoughts on the SNAP reforms that she's talking about?
2 things that I really love about this is they started in the red states, right? So they're proving that this is not an attack on the Dems or anybody else. This is, I want to fix the program. The program is broken. We don't care why it's broken. But, and I'm going to point this out too, right? So never before has the Fed asked for this data from the states. Well, we've had plenty of Republican presidents before. And so this is an across the board, not accusing anybody, not anything. We're fixing the program. We're going after the problem, and we're resolving it. So I'm all for it. I'm definitely all for it. And I like the tack that she's taken to do it. She's not BSing around, and she's going for the throat, right for the throat.
So this is going to affect, so if you are a landlord right now, understand that if you've got tenants, especially in lower income areas that might be using EBT, SNAP kind of benefits, know that cash flow could get tight. Everyone's going to be forced to reapply. And as put in her own words, everyone is going to be assessed to see if they actually do meet the criteria that that program was supposed to originally have. So there could be some tight wallets for individuals.
Can I weigh in on that with them? I say let's require drug testing and workforce type things. Like you've got to put in 3 applications a week if you want to stay in the program.
I'm for it. All right, let's move over to Mr. Bessent. This is the Secretary of Treasury. He has a pretty powerful announcement for children.
This is cool. I'm loving it.
January 1st, 2025, when Trump was inaugurated. This will post date back to. Check this out.
And then the other thing you're going to see in the middle of the year are these Trump accounts. Every child born retroactively to January 1, but for the next 3 years, is going to get a $1,000 account that's going to be invested in the U.S. stock market. So that's another $1,000 for working families.
So yes.
And then the other thing you're going to see on
Chris, I want to get your opinion, and I also want your opinion on this too. What do you think about that? Is that a good use of taxpayer dollars to invest in the future of this country? Drop a comment down below on that.
Okay, so if this is done correctly and this is done wisely, I would answer yes, because historically, you look at the stock market, it's had great performance over the course of 50 years, right? So let's start there. I believe that this is kind of a sideways, half-handed approach to maybe bolster up our Social Security system, right? So if you put $1,000 in today and you add something to it, I think it was a $5,000 a year.
$5,000 per year.
Okay,
Parents
limit,
can
right? The parents can contribute. Tax-free, by the way, pre-tax. Take that money and put it in your kid's account. Beautiful thing. I think that will make our future generations less dependent on Social Security system, because that is my biggest fear. I don't live my life ever counting on a Social Security check, because I don't think I'm going to get one. I don't think it's going to be available to me 10 years from now.
I don't think I will see it either.
Yeah.
I don't think many people will see it.
I think it's beautiful. Who can argue this, right?
Okay, next up, Chris, oh boy, they minted the last penny, Chris.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me that the U.S. Mint has stopped making pennies? That does not make sense. Get it? Doesn't make sense?
I'm gonna let you explain your grandpa joke.
Doesn't make sense. You get that. You got to get that. The U.S. Mint doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
CENTS.
That's right.
All day long, guys. I got to put up with this. Grandpa jokes.
Subscribe for more grandpa jokes.
Okay, so last penny went out. They're basically explaining that it costs more to make pennies than their actual value,
Yeah.
and no one's really using them anymore, so they're gone.
Cool.
All right.
You know other countries do that, by the way.
Make pennies?
No, stop using the lowest denomination. Yeah, there's a lot of countries where they just round up or round down when it comes to kind of like pesos. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, in Mexico. Happens all the time.
It's just happened in the United States.
Cool.
All right. We've got some investors from Chicago, so we're going to talk about this Chicago property tax increase. Holy cow. They're having tax burning parties, literally. Maybe I'll just play this for a second and then we'll talk about this.
Harmony Community Church here in Lawndale, as they're trying to light the way to fairness with this bonfire and discussion tonight. Many homeowners across Chicago receiving a hefty property tax increase in the mail.
So some of these property tax increases in the Chicago metro have been over 100%. 113%, I think, is the biggest one that I read. 68% was pretty common, even in the core of the city. They are cranking up property taxes. Your thoughts, Chris?
It stinks. It's horrible. My question is why? Is the city being run so poorly that they're operating in such a deficit that they need to do this kind of thing? It's bad.
I won't go political on you, but it's been the same flag flying in that town for a long time.
And we know what color that flag is, right?
All right, we're going to move forward. Okay, those of you that are doing multifamily, pay attention to this stat. Okay, this one, it popped at me pretty strong. We've got Fannie and Freddie. They also do, we talked about single family stuff earlier. We're going to talk multifamily here. They do the most multifamily loans. CMBS accounts for a big percentage, but between Fannie and Freddie, it's by far the largest lending pool of dollars.
Right.
And they are about to hit their cap for this year. They have not hit their cap in a long time. They're hitting their cap this year. Two big drivers. Number one, their director has really been making them run like a business since day one, January 1st this year. And number two, there are more people transacting multifamily. The multifamily game is alive and well. People are back in it. And so we're hitting the cap. Chris, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, what this is going to do is if they're hitting the cap, you're going to see a very busy last quarter. You're going to see CMBS loans rise. I hate CMBS loans, just so you know. It's the lawyers get rich on CMBS loans because those CMBS loans are the only loans that you can really negotiate your whole contract. Anyways, and if you don't understand what a CMBS loan is, it's basically they take a package of loans or mortgages together, they put them out in the market, and people buy stock that support those loans. That's a very basic explanation, but that's basically what it is. So that's going to take place, a lot of the transactions over the course of the last quarter of this year going, on the way out. With that being said, I'm just afraid it doesn't drive rates up on us because there's going to be scarcity, right? Now there's scarcity in the market where Freddie and Fannie no longer be able to participate. Everybody's going to go CMBS, things are going to get busy, and yeah, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, all can happen. Chris, I'd like to get, we can't release publicly the deal that we're working on right now,
Right.
but make sure you subscribe, guys. Make sure you subscribe.
Well, and the reason I'm saying subscribe is actually to segue into another point. We can't release publicly a deal that we're doing right now, and actually there's a second deal now too, but that's another story. You have to be involved with us, and in order to be involved with us, I highly encourage you to click on the. Actually, you can't. We're on social media.
Type the word link in the comments
Below.
If you've been waiting for a deal and you want the deal of the year, probably the deal of the last 5 years, then type the word link in the comments, and our team will send you over a link. It'll open up a page like this once you get it, and you can literally join our wait list. Why join the wait list, Chris?
Because on the wait list, we raised $14 million in 14 days for one of our deals, and never went public with it. And what we mean about that is we didn't advertise on the internet, no ads, no outside of our inner circle. The returns on that deal were absolutely unbelievable, like 12% returns in IRR. That just, if I told you, you'd think it was a scam. Just absolutely insane deal. Sometimes those deals come along and we can't announce them publicly for some reason, like this deal specifically. We couldn't let the world know that it was being sold, so we had to do it under wraps. So I would encourage you to become part of our inner circle. Put a link down below, and we'll send a link for you to sign up to this form. That way we know us, you know us.
Then join that list. Type the word link in the comments down below, and we'll get you over the link for it.
Can I brag a little bit?
Please.
One of our deals, we had a 2-year refinance plan on. Here we are just at the end of the first year, and it looks like we're going to make that happen already. These are the kind of deals that we go after, is deals that perform. And the deal that we're talking about makes that deal look ridiculous. So I encourage you one more time, put the link down below, smash the subscribe button. I'm doing this because we keep forgetting to do it. It's my job, and I keep forgetting to sign down here because I get carried away, my blood gets boiling, and he pushes my buttons. And so please subscribe, put a link in the comments, and I think that's all we got for today.
Thanks for joining us this week. We'll see you next week.
God bless y'all. Thanks for being here.